Mash up me head, me some mercy, please. She not afraid she could pull.
Hi guys, hope you're well. In this video I'm going to show you how I make this 27 pieces lace frontal pixie wig. It's quite simple to do, so if you're interested, keep on watching. So first things first, you're going to want to customize your lace frontal. So I started from the back of the frontal, the rear end, and just started plucking. Essentially you're going to have to know how to customize a frontal to make this wig. There are tons of videos on YouTube on how to customize a frontal. I'm not a pro. I kind of just do what I think I need to do. Obviously there's a lot of room for improvement, but yeah, so I'm just plucking. You kind of have to know the kind of style that you want to do with the pixie cut before you start plucking, because obviously I'm plucking quite a bit of hair, even so, and I have really like heavy hands, so much so that I plucked some bald spots accidentally. But I wanted the pixie, the lace frontal, to be very not dense, really light, not a lot of hair, because of the style I was going for. However, if you're doing like a sweep front fringe pixie, obviously you'd want more hair on the frontal. You would literally just customize the front as opposed to starting from the back, because you don't need to customize the middle for that style. Or if you're going for like you know that album that Rihanna did where she has the song Love Song, The Future, that haircut she has on that album cover, the really short, preppy, choppy pixie, you would want to pluck as much as I'm plucking, because you want it to be very light, very short, and if you get what I mean. So yeah, you have to know what style you're doing before you start plucking. I want my pixies to be quite versatile. I don't only want to do one style, so although I'm plucking quite a bit of hair, I'm still leaving enough to do the desired styles that I have in my head, if that makes sense. So I'm just spraying the frontal with water and plucking each layer and getting closer to the front each time. So when I get to like the front, I part it very gently and pluck very carefully, because I have a heavy hand and you can probably see the bald spots that I did at the back. So I have to just be careful not to inflict any more damage on this frontal than I already have. This is a frontal I got from AliExpress on Black Friday sales. It's from a cheap vendor, but I quite like the frontal. I don't know much about frontals. Like, I feel like the frontal is a frontal, but obviously hair experts will beg to differ. But essentially what I'm trying to say is this frontal does the job and it's very cheap and cheerful. I got an 8-inch or a 10-inch, I think it was an 8-inch, just because I knew I was doing a pixie with it. So yeah, it's quite durable and it didn't rip, so that was nice. I bleached the knots of this frontal before the video. I thought I was recording but I wasn't, but essentially I bleached the knots. I left the bleach on for like an hour, which is why it's kind of brown at the roots, but I like that. I like that effect on my lace frontals. Some may not, but I feel like it just helps it blend a bit better. So yeah, now I'm just really gently and really carefully plucking the hairline. As you can see, I'm taking my time because I have really heavy hands, and yeah, I can get carried away with things like this that are very meticulous. So I'm just plucking strand by strand and really analysing. Obviously this is not all the plucking I would do, but I'd rather just pluck a bit at the front, and then when I actually put the wig on, pluck to my like desired kind of density on my head. So yeah, this is some lace tint that I made with semi-permanent hair dye, hot water and salt. I saw that kind of concoction online, so I just copied it and it works for me. Obviously it's not the same results you'd get from a proper lace tint such as like the wig lace gurus people, but it will have to do. So I sprayed that, I let it dry for like an hour, then I sprayed another layer just to make sure it's super brown. And as you can see, I am pinning the lace frontal, the dry lace frontal, onto the mannequin head. I'm using a stocking cap as the base for this wig, not a dome cap. And I'm just sewing the frontal down very flat onto the dome cap, the stocking cap. And I'm being very careful because it is a very light cap, so it rips easily. And yeah, I'm just double stitching this. Obviously you have to make sure that the part of the frontal that I'm sewing, you have to lay it down really flat and put it down with some wig pins. That has to be super flat to ensure that the wig is flat and sits on your head properly. It is not the front part of the frontal that needs to be flat, it is the back part. But again, this is like basic wig, frontal wig 101 lessons that you can learn from any kind of good wig YouTube video. So essentially I've sewn everything down and it's flat and it's secure, as you can see. The wig cap is still underneath at the front part, but I will cut that off. So yeah, that's where my head would go. And I'm pretty pleased with this result, as you can probably tell. Now for the 27 pieces, I'm using Premium Plus 27 pieces in the shade 1B, and essentially this is a hair weaving system with 27 pieces of short hair for pixies. I'm starting with the shortest length, which is 0.2 to 0.4 inches, and I'm doing that from the back all the way up. As you can see, there are 3 kind of lengths in this 27 pieces pack. There's 2 to 4 inches, 4 to 6 inches, and 6 to 8 inches. Obviously, whatever tickles your fancy is the length you should choose for this pixie. I just chose this because it means I don't have to cut it down too much to the length that I want, because it's quite short. 0.2 inches is quite a short length and a perfect length for a pixie. So I'm sticking it down with bonding glue, hair bonding glue, and I am blow drying it on a medium to hot heat to make sure that the glue sets so that the hair can set subsequently as well. So as you can see, I'm just working my way up. You just have to be careful. The reason I'm wearing gloves is because I hate the feeling of bonding glue on my fingers. And after every row, I kind of just blow dry it to set it so that it doesn't slide off. Because you know, bonding glue sometimes takes a while to set and stick down. So I'm lazy, so I'm not doing it row by row. I'm just putting glue on a whole section and sticking it as fast as I can. I've been doing this for years, guys, so I've kind of mastered my approach to it. If you're a beginner or you just want to take your time, you're not a Russian like me, then you can just do it layer by layer, strip by strip. You don't have to put this much glue. Yeah, I've been doing this since I was like 16 years old. Not with a frontal, but with like a entire 27 pieces wig. So yeah, key point, you don't want the wig to be stuck down, the pieces to be stuck down in a U shape. You want it to be going from left to right as straight as possible, as you can see. If you find that your sticking pattern is forming a U shape, then kind of just stick what you can to bring it back to a straight shape, as I've done as well. Does that make sense? You want it to go from left to right, no curve, no U's. So yeah, we're getting to the top now, and I'm following the same left to right pattern, which is important so that the wig lays flat and nice on your head and it doesn't make your head look bigger than it needs to. So now we get to the final strip, and that's the part between the frontal and the 27 pieces. And as you can see, I'm just putting a glued section in the middle. I'm fitting it as tight as possible. I'm blow drying it so there's no gaps, and it is very seamless. So as you can see, I'm just parting and combing through to see if there are any loose tracks and to make sure everything's patterned properly. And I've got a blade comb from the hair shop. This is like £1, and I'm just cutting excess hair from the pixie, only the 27 pieces part, not the frontal. The reason I've done this is just so that the wig is not too dense, and it has like just a gentler effect. I don't know why I do this, but I know the difference it makes. Anyways, so once that's done, I've got some styling mousse, and I'm just playing about with some wavy finger, I wouldn't even call them finger waves. I didn't want to do it at the back. I just wanted a kind of wavy effect and for it to be flat and for it to set properly. I feel like this sets the shape of the wig really well on the dome, if you do it on the dome cap before you put on your head. So that's what I'm doing here. Now I'm setting it with a headscarf and tying a headscarf on the mannequin, and I'm going to leave it for a few hours or 24 hours just for it to set and for the glue to dry and for the shape of the wig to solidify. I waited for a whole day. So now I've put it on my head the next day, the next evening, and as you can see, I've parted it into 3 sections. That's the left section, the middle section, and the right section. And I'm just cutting the left section down to my desired length. It's up to you. It depends on how long you want it to be. You need to play about with it. I can't really like say exactly what length you want it to be. I'm doing the same for the right hand side. I'm just separating it with some crocodile tips. And what I did on the left side that I didn't show is what I'm doing here, which is parting it over my ear as you would do any frontal and cutting it out around my ear, being very careful, just so that it looks nice and it looks a bit realistic. I'm cutting away excess lace as well, just so I know what I'm working with and I don't style any part of hair that I don't need to style, because I end up cutting it off anyway. That is so annoying when that happens. So I've parted it and I'm cutting it again, and this is where my sideburns will be. So I'm cutting it to my desired shape of lace. Perfect. So I've done that on both sides. And I've also parted my sideburns on each side and separated them so I don't cut them off. Now I'm separating the back of my frontal to cover where the 27-piece part of the wig begins, just to cover that and for it not to look bumpy. I want it to look very seamless. So I've pinned that down at the back, and then I'm going to put some mousse on so that it just flattens a bit. And as I mentioned before, when I was plucking the frontal, obviously you pluck it a bit, but the major amount of plucking that you do at the hairline should be on your head, just so you can see exactly what difference it's making and how it's going to frame your face, etc. So as you can see, I'm going in and plucking the front of the frontal to my preference, to my liking. You should do the same. If you want it to be quite dense, you don't need to pluck a lot. If you want it to be thin like mine and very like kind of skin-like with a low density, then you need to pluck at this stage. But be calculated in your plucking, just so that you don't ruin the frontal. Now I'm putting some mousse on my head, and I'm going to start styling the sides. Obviously it's hard to do like a proper finger wave with one comb in the mirror. I find it easier to do it on people, so I'm just doing some waves a bit. I'm doing a bit at the back as well, nothing too serious. I'm doing it on both sides. Now I'm sticking down the front of my frontal. I haven't done the middle styling yet. I'm sticking down the front of my frontal, and I'm going to lay it down with a elastic wig band, just to make sure that it is flat and it is laid and it is setting. Once that's done, I'll now mousse the middle and I will start doing my finger waves. At this point, just style it the way that you want to style it for your preference. I was getting quite frustrated with this, so I just did a whack finger wave because the mirror was confusing me. I couldn't see properly, couldn't find my glasses. So yeah, I was just waving it a bit. I can't really say what I was doing. I was getting annoyed.
You make me wanna, can you baby mama, take it to Bahamas or maybe Asia, show my masala. Oh yeah baby, talk to me, tell me where you wanna go. She not Santorini, oh baby not Tokyo. Do your picky open look, if you love it nobody. She going fast, she going slow, I grab her waist, I take control. Then she whine for like 20 minutes.
So once my waves were manageable, I clipped them down with some, I don't know what these clips are called, I think they're called alligator clips or something, I'm not sure, just to make sure that the curls stayed in place, the waves stayed in place, and that they were set in that shape while I headscarf it and set it after. So I'm just doing it sideways on every wave and at the bottom of every wave as well, as you can see. Now I'm tying it down with a headscarf and I let it dry for like an hour. You can go under the blow dryer as well if you want. Cool. This is the finished look. Let me know your thoughts. Usually I do this on a friend. or a mannequin. It's better. I find it easier to do it on someone's head because I can really do the finger waves the way I'm supposed to with 2 combs and all that. On my head, there's only so much I can do. I'm not really someone that enjoys doing her own hair at all, to be honest. But yeah, I tried. I hope you can gauge like the general construction and process of, this needs to stick down because I'm gonna use glue. I'm actually gonna use glue because it actually pissed me off. I don't like when like the sideburns are far from the head from. Anyway, I digress. This is like the boyish cut, finger wavy, slick back hairstyle that I've done with 27 pieces and a lace frontal, an 8-inch lace frontal. I'll put the link for the lace frontal below. I bought the lace frontal. I bought it because it was cheap and cheerful, and we'll see how it goes because the first melt of a lace frontal is always the best. It always looks amazing. You really see what you're working with after like the 4th time. You just have to stick it down. So we shall see. I'll leave the link anyway. It was cheap and cheerful. You can see that we've got a little wave thing going on. And probably when this comes off, I'm probably just gonna wash it and style it the way I want on a mannequin. I just find it so much easier to do on the mannequin head, doll head thing. I've done it this length because I want to do pin curls as well, dry pin curls. You know when you get a straightener and you curl the hair and it goes in a circle and then you twist it in a circle and you pin it down with like these kind of pins. I like doing that, and then you let it set and then you take it out and it's just this gorgeous pin hairstyle. I'm absolutely positive I'm going to cut my hair in the next 3 years. I'm going to perm my hair for the first time and cut into a pixie cut because I've loved pixie cuts from when I was 16. I hope this process makes sense for you to be able to do your own. It's pretty straightforward. You just need to know the shape of your face. It is important that you know the shape of your face when you're doing any short hairstyle because it just makes it so much better. Like where I've got kind of like a strawberry head and my cheeks are a bit full and I don't have like proper chiseled structures, anything can kind of suit me. Like I feel like anything that's flat on the sides, my face is kind of not too structured where only certain things suit me. But obviously if you have a slimmer face, you have to consider the styles that will suit you. Just do what you like, whatever you feel happy in, wherever you feel happiest, whatever cut makes you feel the best, just do it. The hair products I've used for this style, oh my gosh, this was, no it wasn't full, but it wasn't this low. Anyway, I used this mousse. I prefer using this mousse with my slick backs and my pixies because it's soft and it doesn't make it dry. And then I used this Spritz by Fantasia liquid mousse mega hold spritz hairspray. It just holds everything in place and makes it kind of a bit hard. So let me put some on now before I go to bed. Yeah, that's the spritz I like to use. Let me sit back because my head just looks so big. Yeah, cool. If I keep looking there at the monitor, you know the deal. Ooh, that side profile though, can we come through? I am feeling this. This is a bit of me. That's literally it. These lashes, guys, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't planning on filming today. Like, obviously, I knew I was gonna film this thing, but I didn't think far ahead, and I wasn't in the mood to put makeup on, hence why one lash is going there and the other one's going there. The hoodie, thanks for watching my video. I hope you found it informative. Tag me in your pictures of pixies and all that good stuff. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video, guys. Much love. Have a great, blessed, fulfilling, purpose-driven and satisfying week.